Hello, Jennean from Tranquil Rose here. I just realized that we left off at Karuna, and I kind of didn't pick up again from there over Christmas. And it's way past the holidays now, so no excuses. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Nadis Channels, the channels for life force energy, and then a little bit about Reiki. So maybe some card pulls. We'll see if anybody joins while I'm live. Prana, the cosmic life energy, supplies the body with power and vitality. The chakra teachings are the consequence of setting prana in motion through the astral body. This is not done randomly, but by conducting it through subtle pathways. These subtle channels are called nadis. Sanskrit, nad equal flow. According to the yogic tradition, there are 72,000 nadis. Some texts cite the count as even more, naming as many as 350,000. Nadis form a fine network of pathways that extend through the entire body. Each chakra is the hub for thousands of nadis, which connects all the energy centers, which radiate from the chakra and flow forth. Many spiritual traditions have depicted this as a flower. Chakras are frequently described as flowers with petals, usually the lotus flower. The theory of nadis, it has a certain resemblance to the concept found in Chinese medicine, which I believe they're all kind of connected. The pathways of prana energy are similar to meridians, which is usually what acupuncturists will use. Prana corresponds to chi, which in Chinese medicine is the equivalent to universal life energy. Different names, all kind of the same stuff. So, where was I? There are also differences, however. Neither the quantity nor the location of the nadis corresponds to meridians. The meridian teachings are fundamental to the practice of medicine, but the theory of nadis and chakras applies specifically to spiritual practice. The goal of many styles of yoga is to stimulate the flow of energy through the nadis. The exercises and remedies in chakra work unblock the nadis. It follows that every chakra is the focal point of thousands of nadis, and the revival of chakra energy always has a purifying effect on them. Three main nadis. The Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. It is virtually impossible and also impractical to concern yourself with all of the 72,000 nadis in your body. There are three main nadis that are particularly significant and play a large role in regenerating chakra energy. They are Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Okay, I got it. When energy can flow unhindered through these three main nadis, the chakra can be freely expanded. Ida is the astral channel through which negatively charged currents of energy flow. Ida represents the feminine pole, which also binds together the energy of the world. In Chinese philosophy, and I'm getting pop-ups. Okay. In Chinese philosophy is called yin energy. The root chakra is the point of departure for the Ida. It starts in the spinal column and ends in the left nostril. Pingala is the positively charged energy of the body. It corresponds to the energy of the sun and is classified as masculine or yang, so yin and yang. It would be Ida and Pingala in chakra energies. Pingala also originates at the root chakra, and it ends in the right nostril. The two energy channels, Ida and Pingala, cross the chakras as they travel up along the spinal column. In this way, both encircle the main channel, Sushumna. Sushumna corresponds on the physical plane to our spinal cord and flows in a spiral directly through the spinal column. Like Ida and Pingala, Sushumna is a subtle energy path in the astral body. It is not the same as the spinal cord. The astral channels, Ida and Pingala, supply the whole human organism with all the energy provided for life on Earth and for the tasks necessitated by the material world. This is a contrast to Sushumna, the astral channel within the body, which has a special meaning for one's spiritual development. When prana energy can flow through the Ida and Pingala, one is imprisoned within the material realm of time and space. Exercises for balancing your nadis. The flow of energy in the Sushumna nadi is stimulated through meditation, yoga techniques, and chakra work. This leads to a higher level of awareness. In India, the Sushumna channel is also represented as the Brahmana nadi. The path The path that leads to God. Brahma is the highest god in the Hindu pantheon. The following exercises balances your nadis. The teachings of yoga are concerned with energy. Energy flows through Ida coolly and peacefully, yin, while Pingala energy warms and activates, yang. An exercise of Ida, which is the negative energy pole, results in tiredness, listlessness, depression, and poor circulation. An excess of energy flowing through Pingala, the positive pole, can lead to nervousness, irritability, insomnia, and heart problems. Through the following breathing techniques, you can create a balance between these two poles. In a seated position, breathe through both nostrils for a few minutes. Moon breathing. Sit in a comfortable position with your back straight. Close your eyes and put your right hand on your nose. And close your right nostril with the tip of your right thumb. Now breathe in and out in a regular rhythm through your left nostril. Do this for at least 5 minutes. So that's one way for moon breathing. Use this form of breathing when you are suffering from nervousness, insomnia, or anxiety, or to soothe yourself for any other reason. You should also do moon breathing several times a day if you suffer from inflammation, high blood pressure, a defective heart, or aches and pains. Sun breathing is also performed in a seated position. Close your eyes and put your hands on your nose. Close your left nostril with the ring. Close your left nostril with the ring and little finger of your right hand. Breathe exclusively through the right nostril. Do this exercise for at least 5 minutes whenever you are lacking energy. Sun breathing is recommended for when you are tired, exhausted, downcast, or anxious. It is also advised for low blood pressure, dizziness, weak circulation, or digestive problems. So now on to Kundalini. So Kundalini, the sleeping serpent. Sanskrit, the ancient Indian language, uses images to illustrate many concepts. The sages and Brahmins knew that for most people, symbols were easier to understand than complicated definitions. This is the case with the term Kundalini, which means serpent power. So I'm just going to quickly share this to my main page so everybody knows. Then I'm talking about Kundalini. I feel like that's more known than the Nadis, is Kundalini energy. This is the case with the term Kundalini, which means serpent power. Behind the image lies the secret of spiritual development and the deepest sense of what it is to be human. So here's the image right there. The meaning of serpent symbols. In ancient India, the dominant interpretation of Kundalini was that it is a coiled serpent that sleeps in the root chakra at the base of the spinal column. When Kundalini is awakened, it climbs up the spinal column through the Sushumna channel. As it travels, it activates and binds together all the chakras, one after the other. Kundalini reaches its goal when it arrives to the crown chakra. The main theme of the Kundalini theory is that of self-development. Kundalini is nimble, as fast as lightning, and flexible. It stands as an ancient symbol for the enormous potential for growth that every person has. A snake's body has a great many vertebrae, anywhere from 100 to 300. Humans have 33 vertebrae. In yoga, the spinal column symbolizes the potential for personal development. In Hatha yoga, the mobility of the spine is extremely important. The chakras also have a great deal to do with the development process, and their location corresponds to the length of the spinal column. The serpent sleeps. It is wound up in a coil which does not unwind. The sleeping serpent, the creative energy, must unwind and set itself in motion. Then it travels upward to the Sushumna channel, from the material world to the spiritual. The root chakra, in which it rests, contains the grossest energy, and the crown chakra, its goal, contains the subtlest. The ascent of Kundalini, which is equivalent to spiritual development, is accompanied by pleasurable sensations. People dedicate themselves to years of meditation or other spiritual methods, but even though they experience great happiness and satisfaction, they are still unable to attain a state of bliss. In reference to this, Swami Vishnudevana says, when the coiled up energy, Kundalini, ascends through the Sushumna and in this process travels from chakra to chakra, the yogi experiences every form of knowledge, power, and bliss. As long as Kundalini energy is awakened gently and carefully, a pleasurable state of awareness accompanies it. The flow of energy, which streams through the Sushumna Nadi, activates the other nadis, Ida and Pingala. This results in good health, a strong immune system, and relief from aches and pains and other physical ailments. The awakening of Kundalini has an even higher goal than good health. And ultimately, the creative human life force should be animated and bound together with cosmic consciousness in the unification of individual self with the divine. When this unification takes place, one experiences illumination. In yoga, this state of the highest level of consciousness is termed samadhi. It corresponds to the mystical marriage of Western tradition and the union of humans and God. Shiva and Shakti energy. The unification of primordial masculine and feminine energy is the goal of awakening the sleeping Kundalini. This is the only way for humans to transcend duality and enter into divine unity. Only those who know both poles and enjoy both masculine and feminine aspects of themselves, in whom yin and yang are unified, can overcome duality and arrive at a state of completeness. In Kundalini teachings, Shakti is the creative force, which is viewed as an active aspect in which yin and yang are unified. Shiva represents pure consciousness, or calm aspects of Kundalini. Shakti corresponds to the feminine pole of Shiva, and Shakti corresponds to the feminine pole, and Shiva to the masculine. Shiva in Sanskrit, the benevolent one, is considered to be the omnipotent ruler of the world and embodiment of masculine energy. Shiva is one of the main gods of the Hindu pantheon. He stands for the cosmic awareness that is within the highest chakra, and also for the principles of knowledge and awakening. Shakti, in Sanskrit, power, symbolizes the primordial feminine principle. As Shiva's polar opposite in mythology, Shakti emerges as Kali, the terrifying and dramatic destroyer, especially in contrast to Parvati, the loving and charitable maternal goddess. Shakti symbolizes the life force that animates all matter and creates nature. Move you over a little bit. There we go. The lowermost chakra in the astral body is situated at the base of the spinal column. This is the seat of Shakti energy. It is the center of coiled up Kundalini, which is known as the Kundalini Shakti. Shakti is the mother of all things. Thanks to her limitless generative power, Shakti can create the world. She generates the entire visible universe and the 5 elements. Her power flows from the eternity of time, immemorable from infinity in the plane and of space and time. Exhausted by this creative process, the primordial heaven mother repossesses in the form of Kundalini Shakti. Symbolized by the coiled serpent in this myth, humanity's potential is conveyed in words. Within everyone lies the embryo of the power that brought the universe into existence. When we succeed in activating this primordial feminine energy, we can liberate our consciousness from the material world to connect to the divine power. The fundamental spiritual task for humans is to awaken the sleeping Kundalini to new life in order to enable the free-flowing unity with the divine spring that resides in the crown chakra. Gentle interaction with spirit, serpent power. We have opportunities to embark on spiritual journey to undertake a search for our true self. We can look for a guru, buy books with a spiritual theme, learn yoga or tai chi, practice different forms of meditation, or work with our chakras. By awakening Kundalini energy, there is a possibility of returning to the essence of being. Many yoga techniques, specific breathing exercises, or body positions, for example, are used to purify the astral body and stimulate the flow of Karuna energy. Swami Vishnudevana writes, through asanas, body positions, pranayama, mudras, and meditation, hot energy is produced and directly conveyed to Kundalini. Only through prolonged exercise can Sushumna be cleansed of all impurities. This enables Kundalini Shakti to travel without difficulty through the Sushumna channel until it arrives at the Sasahara chakra, the crown chakra. Over time, through chakra yoga, Kundalini power will be awakened. Of course, in chakra work, we do not directly engage Kundalini, but through the application of various techniques, we activate the chakras and bring Kundalini into balance. All chakra work purifies the astral body and frees the energy pathways from blockages. When the path is unobstructed, Kundalini energy can gradually and naturally be set in motion gently and entirely without force. A word of caution: Westerners should not overly fixate on awakening Kundalini energy. Some very intensive yoga techniques are directed towards Kundalini energy. These involve breathing techniques that call for long periods of holding the breath. These exercises are dangerous for those who are not trained and should only be performed under the supervision of experienced teachers. Even for the experienced teacher, these exercises are not entirely without risk. In Western circles, a lot of people experiment with traditional yoga practices that should be done only after a very long period of preparation. Students of yoga must spend years purifying themselves before undertaking these exercises. This self-purification entails years of not eating any meat or drinking any alcohol. It also requires freedoms from spiritual poisons such as envy, selfishness, and lust. Only after this long preparation may yogis even begin to apply pranayama or kundalini techniques. In the following table there are 5 forbidden things, yamas, and the 5 commandments, niyamas, that absolutely must be heeded before the practice may be started. In his Yoga Sutras, the Indian sage Patanjali formulates the most important and ethical rules of yoga, his 10 commandments. Renunciation of power, renunciation of lying and deception, not stealing, moderation in all things, non-attachment, purification of the body, contentedness, frugality, study in sacred texts, and conscious orientation towards the divine. His recommendations illustrate the requirements for all who have made an earnest decision to follow the spiritual path to happiness. It is a good method for removing the barriers to a spiritual path. Experience has shown that taking yama and niyama into consideration is also helpful for chakra work. Directly as a result of untoward habits that yama and niyama advise against, the same spiritual blockages occur that hinder the unfolding of the chakras. There are innumerable possibilities in everyday life that orient oneself towards these rules, gently and without strain. At this point, we must again issue an emphatic warning against possible injury. If you seek to awaken Kundalini energy through extreme ascetic exercises or forceful breathing techniques, you must seriously access the possibility of physical and spiritual injury. Indeed, in principle, it is possible to forcibly direct Kundalini energy up through blocked chakras, but the result can be very unpleasant and can cause severe side effects. Fever, shivering, chronic exhaustion, and mental confusion are symptoms of that energy is out of control and has been called forth inappropriately. With chakra work, you could take the following consideration. In chakra work, we handle the energy with our astral bodies cautiously and gently. Relaxation and understanding are good for our chakras. Through pleasant visualizations, simple body positions, and gentle breathing exercises, our chakras can regain their original harmony. When we conduct ourselves in a loving manner and follow our path patiently yet unwaveringly, we create the best condition for a harmonious spiritual awakening. In this way, we propagate and sow the soil. We need to accept that the flower of awakening requires its own time to bloom. It can sometimes be better to allow things to assume their natural course rather than force them. So that's that for today. Thank you for joining me. So that was a little bit about the Nadis Channel and Kundalini. And the next, I think, is going to be awakening the hand and feet chakra. And then into moon dress. So thank you for joining me.